Turning now to Texas, where Governor Greg Abbott wants to pardon Sergeant Daniel Perry, who was convicted Friday in the 2020 fatal shooting of an armed protester. Abbott says Perry is protected by the Texas Stand Your Ground law. But critics say the move is too soon because the sergeant hasn't been sentenced yet. NTD's Arlene Richards finds out what the law says and Perry's chances of being pardoned.
U.S. Army Sergeant Daniel Perry was convicted on Friday in the 2020 fatal shooting of Garrett Foster, a Black Lives Matter protester. Texas Governor Greg Abbott immediately took to social media, saying the jury got it wrong. In a Twitter post, he said Texas has one of the strongest stand-your-ground laws of self-defense that cannot be nullified by a jury. I spoke with gun law expert Emily Taylor for more details on the law. Can you tell me what that law says and how it works?
You have to be someplace you have a legal right to be. So in this case, Sergeant Perry was legally in his vehicle and legally in the streets in Austin. You have to not be committing any other criminal act at the time you need to use stand your ground. So for example, if you're in the process of selling drugs, you can't then engage stand your ground. And you have to have not provoked the interaction, which ended in deadly force.
In July 2020, Perry drove onto a street crowded with protesters. Police say the protesters then surrounded Perry's car. Foster approached the car carrying an AK-47 style rifle. The crucial fact in dispute is whether or not Foster pointed the gun at Perry.
Was the threat immediate? Was it imminent? And was it a threat of deadly force? And raising the firearm is what establishes those elements. It's what is often going to be in dispute in a self-defense matter. So it's up to the jury to decide who they believe.
Abbott asked the Board of Pardons and Paroles to review the case and recommend a pardon, which is required under Texas law. Taylor said the request is outside the norm because the convicted person usually applies for the pardon after he's sentenced. Meanwhile, Perry's attorney is already seeking a new trial. In your opinion, how is this likely to play out?
My guess is that before the briefs on the appeal are even due, he will already be pardoned. The appellate process is just quite simply very lengthy.
Taylor said in Texas, sentencing typically happens immediately, but it's been delayed in this case and she doesn't know why. In the meantime, she said Perry will remain in custody. Arlene Richards, NTD News.